Hello, this is November 5, Delta Oscar Tango, and I have a quick tutorial that I would like to share with you. This tutorial assumes you have at least an amateur radio general class license and would like to work digital modes on your Kenwood TS-440S. I gained an interest in digital modes shortly after upgrading to a general class license. I didn't have the money to spend on one of those fancy Signal Link cards, so I did the next best thing. I ordered the chips necessary to make an IC10 kit and a few interfacing cables to join my rig to my PC. For the purpose of this video, I will be using the WSJT-X software. I'm sure other programs are similar, and you may have to experiment with them, but it should apply to several of the other programs. Alrighty, first we need to install the IC10 kit, which is this. The IC10 kit should, you can either order it as a kit or you can order it separately like I did through eBay. Each part was about $5 each, and they came relatively quick. You should be able to find how to install this in your owner's manual, and you see there it's on page 29 of your owner's manual. Of course, the chips that I bought, well, the links for those will be in the description below, so check the description after the video, or during the video or after. Also, I ended up picking up some cables to interface from the back of my radio to my PC. The one on the left there is a cat control cable, and the one on the right is a audio interface cable. The one on the left, I believe, goes to the ACC. One of the ACC ports. You have an ACC1 port and an ACC2 port, and both of these go, one's 13 DIN and a pin DIN, and the other is a 6-pin DIN. Both of these go to the back of your radio, and both of them plug into your computer for cat control and audio. Alrighty, once you've got both of those installed to your radio, we need to go and figure out how to interface the radio to the PC. And the easiest way that I can tell you to do this is to either download a some people use HamLib, some people use FLRig, Ham Radio Deluxe. I personally like DX Commander along with the suite. You can use whatever works best for you, but I've found that this one works and it works well. So I'll show you how to do this, and I'm sure this will apply to other ones. First thing you want to do is go to you want to pull up your and then click this config button, and that'll just make this pop up. Under the port section, you want to look at your port, whatever one you just Windows X, the Windows button in the next, and then click on Device Manager. And I'll pull that down here real quick. If you go to ports, you should see it under here. I have another one hooked up. My TS-590 is hooked up, and it's this one. So this is the TS-440 here. So that's COM3. I know that that's COM3, and when you should be able to unplug it and plug it back in with the Device Manager up, and you'll figure out which one is your port. But put this all into the primary cat serial port. I've selected port 3. Baud rate on the TS-440s is 4800. The word or what would you call the data bits is another word for it. It may be different in another one. Is 8. The parity, there's no parity. One stop bit, DTR is off, and RTS is on. This is what I got to work for mine, and I'll show you. Let's see. Yeah, so when I change here, it changes on my radio. So I know that it works. When I PTT, you can see it's transmitting. It might be a little hard to see with the red thing there, but it does transmit. So it works. Alrighty. So once we've got that working, click out of that. We need to open up I always get it mixed up. WSJT-X. Let's go ahead and pull that up, and you can you can get rid of this. You don't need it for now as long as it's open. You need it open while you're running WSJT-X. As you can see right now, it's already. Of course, we'll go through and show you how to do that. First thing you want to do is go to File, Settings, and this will pop up. First thing you want to do is go to the Radio tab. For mine, I use the DX Lab Suite Commander, and you just pull it down here. You'll probably notice that the TS-440, the Kenwood TS-440 is on here. I never could get it to interface, to the radio by using the settings that I used in the Commander. I'm not sure if I don't have something set up correctly. I'm not real sure, but I never could get it to work correctly. So, yeah, it's just kind of easier for me to use the DX Commander suite, and I don't have to worry about setting all this up. Everything already works in the other program, and make sure your PTT method is cat. You want cat control on it. All this other stuff, I clicked USB on this one for the mode, and for fake it on the split operation, you can do that however you want. To make sure it works, you want to go to test cat. Let me pull up, show you while I'm doing this. Here, I can show you. Okay, so if you click test cat, and you want to wait till it turns green, and you'll see my radio moved a little bit. The VFO moved just a tiny bit. Let's see if I don't know if I can get it to do it again. But anyways, if it's good, you should turn green and stay green. If you should be able to test PTT, and you'll see it's transmitting. There's no input right now, so nothing's going on, but it is transmitting. And just click it again to turn it off. All right, once that's set up, the most confusing part is the audio. You'll want to go to that. You can either do default input device or default output device. It's up to you. Every system is different. Every situation is different. For me, I have it connected through my interfacing cable through the front ports, the microphone and speaker port on the front. Make sure when you're plugging these in to get the correct ones. I labeled mine so I wouldn't have to worry about it. For the data output is the mic, which it's opposite on here. It's kind of hard to explain, but for me, I labeled it so I wouldn't forget which ones go where. Because if you got them backwards, it will not work. If you realize you don't have anything, let me switch back to that. If you realize down here you're not getting anything, or it's red, you may have to switch some stuff around and get everything working like it's supposed to. As of now, everything, like, make sure your levels too, because you'll need to make sure that I believe it's your microphone. Yes, your microphone is set up correctly. Yeah, see, the levels here are in about 10, and if you watch down here, if it's too high, you'll see it turn red. That's not good. That means your signal's overdriving. So you need to turn it down to, I usually keep it at about 60. On here, it's about 10%. I keep it, and that gives me a good level where you can hear everything nice and easy, and it's not overdriving. So that's where I keep that. For the playback, which will be your output when you transmit, I just put that on maximum right here. I just keep it on maximum, and then you can adjust it down here when you're ready to do that. So I guess I can go ahead and show you what it's supposed to do now that I've shown you all that. Once you have the antenna tuned up, you probably need to do that. Let's go over here to this view. All right, so the first thing we need to do is get off frequency. We don't want to, bug everybody. I usually go about 4 or 5 kcs up, just to keep from bothering anybody. What I'll do is I'll tune my antenna up. Let's go ahead and tune that up. Make sure we're good. I've already got it tuned. And then here, let me do it like this so I can show you what I'm doing here. So once I need to hit this tune button to make sure I'm good. Another thing you want to do is turn your mic gain down to about 2. You want to start at about 2. That'll make sure you don't overdrive it. And what you want to do, there's a couple other things also. You'll want to make sure your processor down here is off. You don't want that on because it'll overdrive your signal. And make sure your AGC is set on fast. Another thing is you want to make sure your mic is unplugged because it will pick up background noise while you're transmitting. So the next thing you want to do is click tune. And you'll see now that I've got it set to about. You see, if you adjust your mic gain, it'll adjust your power. Make sure your meter switch is switched to power, and what you want to do is adjust it to about 60 watts. That's what I typically run it at. 60 watts will make sure that you're not overheating your radio, and it makes sure your ALC is good. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to check. Let me show you that. So while you're tuning up, make sure you're set at 60 watts. Flip over here to ALC, and your ALC should be far left. And if you watch when you turn your power up, if your ALC meter moves, that's not good. That means it's overdriving the signal. So make sure you're staying around 60 watts. I wouldn't do any more than that to keep from overheating your radio, because the duty cycle is pretty strenuous on these old radios for FT8. Just make sure you watch that because that'll kill your radio. But anyways, yeah, as long as your ALC is dead flat and you're running at about 60 watts, you should be good. You can turn up the power if you really need it. You don't, honestly, though. But just make sure your ALC doesn't overdrive, or when you're on your ALC meter setting, it doesn't move past 1, because you're getting a dirty signal then. All right, once that's all set up, you could probably that's about it. The only thing that I would say is make sure that here is where you want to select your band, and use this to get on frequency, and you'll see the radio move frequency when I do that, and you'll see now that I'm well, that's in the way. Anyways, you'll see now that I'm getting stuff coming in, and this is what it'll look like. Of course, I've got this isn't, I've changed my colors and all that, so I've got different colors than you may have, but it's the same basic principle. Another thing you'll want to make sure of is that you pick a good spot on your graph, where you can tell that you've got an open spot. And what I'll typically do is I'll let's just say right there is an open spot, and I'll give it a moment and see if I can find a really open spot where both sides aren't transmitting. Like, that's pretty open on both sides right there. So what I would do is, you see down here where your RX is, just transmit that into the 1408 and shift tab, alt tab. There we go. And you'll see, well, somebody else is transmitting there, but you get the idea. You want to try to go wherever you find an open spot, so you're not transmitting on top of people. People aren't transmitting on top of you. Here may be a good spot. We'll try that one. But anyways, the idea is find all that. Let's get rid of all this. And then you enable a TX, and you'll see that I'm running at about 60 watts. And when it's done, it'll cut off by itself, and you know you're successful at that point. So good luck, and just remember, anytime you tune, anytime you switch bands down here and go to another band. Oh, look, somebody came back to me. Anytime you're switching bands, make sure you tune up at least 5 kcs away from where you're supposed to be at. It's really easy to find where you're supposed to be at. You just go down here and click this. It's really simple. So just be sure to be generous and thoughtful of other operators, because that's why you're on here anyways, to make contact with them. But anyways, happy hunting, and if you have any if this was helpful, please remember to leave a like and comment any comments, questions, or suggestions. Please leave them in the comment section. I'd love to hear them, because I don't know everything about everything, but I could always learn. But anyways, 73, this is N5DOT. Bye.